You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, B&B fans, Belinda from Soap Dirt talking about what's going on with Poppy Nozawa and why she won't come clean to Luna about who's her father. The show seems to be heavily hinting that Luna is a spawn of Bill Spencer, but when Luna asked her mom flat out, she told her that he's not. So is Poppy lying to her daughter about Bill? Or is there a much deeper lie and a betrayal that she's trying to cover up with a series of smaller lies? There is so much more to this story that we've yet to unfold. Hey, click subscribe if you haven't. And now let's talk about it. So we have had so many hints dropping that Luna is really Bill's daughter that I'm starting to doubt it. At first, when it was a few little Easter eggs, it was like, okay, maybe. And then when we just got to be inundated, it had me thinking, oh, okay, is it maybe too obvious? I do think it'd be really cool if Luna was Bill's, and Don Diamont said he thought it would be amazing for Bill Spencer to turn up with a daughter after all this time. All that aside, I'm now starting to lean towards maybe somebody else entirely different is Luna Nozawa's father. But if her real dad's not around to get to know her, maybe Bill would be an acceptable substitute, a stepdad of sorts if he, gets with Poppy. Now, I'm not certain if Poppy would look her daughter right in the face and lie to her and say, no, Bill's not your father, and he actually is. I mean, there's no reason to hide it from either of them. Not back then, not in the intervening years, and not now. So after the most recent scenes with Poppy and Luna, though, I'm starting to doubt that Bill's her daddy. I don't think Bill would mind being her dad, but now I'm thinking more and more about Li Finnegan's disgust that her sister had a daughter out of wedlock. Plus, Li was so angry that she couldn't get pregnant, and then her husband Jack knocked up Sheila. So now my thought is, did Jack Finnegan also get his wife's little sister pregnant? I've mentioned this in passing before as just a what if, just a possibility. But now I'm really starting to wonder if it's the real scenario and not the Bill as the daddy thing. It would also explain a lot about Li's anger at Poppy and her keeping the info about her father a secret from Luna. Now, all that said, I don't think that Li knows the truth if this is the truth. So think back, Poppy hooked up with Bill at a music festival and, might or might not have gotten his number or his info to get in touch with him when she turned up pregnant. That's one reason maybe she didn't tell him, but that doesn't explain why she wouldn't tell Luna and why she wouldn't tell her now. But maybe Poppy was already pregnant by the time she met Bill, and she was out for one last night of uninhibited fun before she settled into life as a pregnant woman and then a single mom. Consider this, Poppy was pretty free with her affections when she was younger. Remember, Li tore into her about sleeping with the husband of a doctor when she was working in the hospital gift shop. Well, what if Poppy slept with more than one doctor's husband, specifically her sister's husband, Jack? So what I wonder, though, is whether Poppy's kept the secret of Luna's paternity from everybody involved. Like, she's the only person that knows, If Jack is Luna's dad, I think there's a good chance Li Finnegan doesn't know it. Maybe Jack doesn't even know it. I mean, Poppy would probably be terrified to tell her big sister she got pregnant by her husband. That would reinforce all of Li's bad opinions about her little sister. Remember the other day when Li just looked at her sister in disgust and said, Luna doesn't even know who her father is. I took that to mean that Li also doesn't know, because she would have said a name. She would have said something else, I think. Poppy, of course, definitely knows who's the baby daddy because she told Bill that Luna's father is not a bad man at all. She said he just never knew about Luna. All that tracks with her possibly being Jack's daughter. Poppy, might not tell Jack because maybe he was falling for her and was talking about leaving his wife to be with her. And Poppy, wouldn't want Li to hate her more than she already does. And if he knew there was a baby in the mix, maybe he would have walked out on his marriage. So I could totally see Poppy keeping all of this hidden deep inside to protect her sister Li, because as much as Li hates her, Poppy is still protective about her. Like when Bill mentioned who Sheila Carter was and what she had nearly done, almost killing her sister. Well, Poppy was mad. Even though Li has been a big old B to her, Poppy was still protective. So I just wonder if within all of this story, if Poppy is still protecting Li. So to me, this is all a very likely explanation for why Poppy hasn't ever told anybody who got her pregnant. Not her sister, not Luna. I don't think the guy, she already said the guy didn't know. I mean, this would rip their family apart. And, maybe it was just a one-time mistake. Jack and Li had an argument. He bumped into Poppy. They vented about her sister, had a few drinks, played hide the sausage, and then bam, Luna. Clearly this all has to come out soon. I suspect it probably will in sweeps. They've been beating the drum about it for too long. So I do think it's going to come out soon. I mean, RJ and Luna could run a secret DNA test on her and Bill to see if they're a match. And interestingly, if Jack is her dad, then Finn is her brother and he's a doctor. Luna could go to him for the paternity test. And I mean, who even knows? Finn might somehow run some kind of genetic test on the two of them just out of curiosity because he's a scientist. And then he might see sibling markers that don't make sense for cousins. Finn is no fan of the way his mom treats Luna and Poppy. And I think Finn's kindness to them might be another red flag that he and Luna are more than cousins, maybe siblings, I mean, that'd be kind of nice because it would root Finn and Luna in the character canvas, give them more family. So the spoilers for this week on Bold say Luna's not sure if she believes Poppy because her mom keeps sidestepping questions and lying to her. That's why I wonder if they might do a DNA test that turns into more information if Finn gets involved. As much as I'd like to see Dollar Bill get another kid, get a daughter this time, it'd be easier to make her Jack's offspring. Mr. Finnegan is not around, but that's okay. And I've not heard anything about Ted King coming back to B&B as Jack Finnegan. Maybe he'd pop up in sweeps, but really they don't need him. There's nothing on his IMDb that indicates he's coming back. But even if Jack is Poppy's baby daddy, this is a story more about sisters than misters. So I expect they could do this just fine without him. And, Bold doesn't mind doing whole off-screen arcs with people and just name dropping them indefinitely. In the end, I'd be stunned if Poppy Nozawa was pregnant by some rando guy that we don't know. I feel certain we're going to find out it's Bill or Jack. Right now, I'm leaning towards Jack. If you're somebody who's put in the comments, oh no, it's Ridge. No, it's not, because she's about to be shagging RJ. They're already making out. They would not have them kissing if they were cousins, if they were siblings. They just wouldn't. So forget the Ridge thing. All right. So let me know your thoughts on this, though. I'm also kind of hoping that Poppy has had enough of Li dissing her and just screams the truth right in her face. Something like, your husband got me pregnant. Are you happy now? I think that would be hilarious. Of course, that reveal would make no one happy. I mean, Luna and Finn might be happy to find out they're siblings. Other than that, this would come to no good. We'll see how it goes, but I expect a paternity reveal in February sweeps. They've built it up too much not to reveal it soon, so we'll just have to see. Hey, drop your comments on who you think Luna's dad is, and please subscribe if you haven't already, and definitely come back. I'm here talking Bold 7 days a week, and as always, it's Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.